Good evening. We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Sam Lantz and Sophia Lane reveal Squid Game's Bryton Constantin's homophobic and transphobic remarks.
Join the rare LGBTQ+ July 4th cruise on Yacht Musette, featuring fireworks, entertainment, and more.
Ashley Brundage aims to become Florida's first trans legislator. She advocates for DEI, reproductive rights, and the rights of small businesses.
U.S. Ambassador David Pressman condemns Hungary's anti-LGBTQ stance at Pride event, highlighting that the country's democratic values are at stake.
A new study conducted by Just Like Us finds LGBTQ+ parents and children face negative comments, isolation, and mental health struggles.
Good evening. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news. Broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, that we have had more than, 9 million views. It's Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ+ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a non-profit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students, youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBT community experience, and our television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
Good evening. Let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome TriniDaddy first. This artistic talent is a violinist and pianist with the Miami City Ballet and is a program director for the Seminole Theater Players in Homestead. TriniDaddy, Grease the Musical is coming to Seminole Theater on July 19th. You are the music director for this show. Tell me what's happening.
Well,
are you playing the piano in it?
I am not only the music director, I'm also an actor in the show, and I'm the producer of the show.
When did you have time to come here?
I don't know. You all are really lucky. So Grease the Musical, we are doing the little promo tours right now. It is so much fun. It is the last two weekends in July, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the last 2 weekends in July. You can get tickets at seminoletheater.org. It's theater, the British spelling TRE, seminoletheater.org. It's a community theater, but our people come from all over South Florida, from Miramar, from Fort Lauderdale area, everywhere. It's a truly inclusive group. The talent is out of this world. And I hope you all can make it and support our really great theater arts community now that Ron DeSantis has cut all the arts from the state level. So please come out. We need your support more than ever.
That's a whole new story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's jumping on it because we got to do what we have to do to keep the theaters and our music and everything alive.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's welcome Elle Hayes. He is an activist who works in community transformation and upliftment, apart from being an author, filmmaker, and neo-soul artist. Welcome, Elle Hayes, and tell me what whatever I just said, neo
soul
artist means.
So neo
Sorry
soul
about that.
artist. No, it's okay. So, well, hey, everybody. Let me start by introducing myself. I go by the name of L. Hayes, and I need y'all all to allude into the experience. So, neo soul artist is about back in the days of songs that make us move, feel like Motown, those things that brings community together. So, and my music is a movement. So, that's what neo soul is about.
I love it because I love Donna Summers, and if it has anything to do with any of that stuff, I'm in. Okay, let's welcome Alex Morash. What's wrong with me tonight? Alex has written for The Advocate and served as editor-in-chief of Options magazine. He has also served as media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Welcome, Alex, and tell me what's going on in your world this week.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, Glenn. You know, what's going on, I have nothing that interesting to talk about for myself, but I do want to wish my
Very
dear...
interesting.
But
We were on the
thank
show
you.
last week, and it was very interesting.
I try. But I do want to wish my significant other, Gil Ponce, a wonderful time tomorrow. He's traveling to Washington, D.C. to take part in the White House's Pride events tomorrow. So good luck, baby. We know you're going to do great.
And it could be the last Pride event ever held in the White
Don't
House.
even tell me.
Just saying.
And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, Glen Weinzimer. Weinzimer,
Perfect.
right?
I will respond to anything. I don't get offended.
He owns Bona Italian Restaurant in Wilton Manors. Glenn is founder of the Smart Ride, which raised over $16 million for the HIV/AIDS community.
Yeah.
He is passionate about getting out the LGBTQ plus vote in this critical election year. Glenn, Aperitivo at Bona is celebrating Best Top in Town Wine Topper, $5 with the purchase of a spirit. Tell me, what's happening?
Well, everyone calls Wilton Manors Bottomsdale, so I thought we've come up with this new mini charcuterie board that sits on top of your wine glass, and it would be the perfect wine topper and a perfect top in town.
$5? That is a
makes you
deal.
Beat that.
Yes, you get a whole bunch of little things on it. It's awesome.
Is it like at special times, or is it like
No, as long as you...
Pride Month? Is it a...
No. We have something special. Pride Month was a whole different promotion.
Oh, okay.
So this is just something we're doing for our happy hour, and also if you order it in the restaurant during normal hours, we'll certainly do that if you order a glass of wine and ask for it.
And can I just say, it's so nice to see someone doing about something for the wine toppers of our community. Far too underrepresented.
There was a need, and we filled it. There was a gap, and we moved on it. So, and speaking of moving on, we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for Tuesday, June 25th, 2024.
Let's queer up the world view. Gay U.S. ambassador challenges Hungarian prime minister's anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. The U.S. ambassador to Hungary, David Pressman, delivered a poignant speech at a Pride event in Budapest this week, condemning Prime Minister Viktor Orban's government's discriminatory rhetoric. Addressing the LGBT community gathered at his residence, Pressman spoke passionately about their challenges. He has also highlighted the insidious nature of the fear-mongering tactics employed by those seeking to undermine democracy, while drawing attention to the detrimental impacts of Orban's policies. Pressman said, "Fear is something those who seek to undermine democracy trade on, and their currency is too often you and your families." Highlighting Hungary's concerning alignment with anti-democratic practices, Pressman criticized the government's emulation of authoritarian regimes like Russia. He also revealed that his original plan to deliver the speech in Hungary's parliament was thwarted by a senior member of Orban's party. This shows the kind of hostility that is being faced by LGBTQ plus individuals in the country. As a gay man raising 2 children with his partner in Hungary, Pressman's personal stake in the fight for equality was palpable. However, this isn't the first clash between Pressman and Orban. There has been a Twitter war between the two. I started researching Pressman and his history, and like there's so many different aspects of the story. But the first thing I found interesting was he got his start within the State Department world of really getting noticed because Samantha Power brought him up. She's someone from the Obama administration, right? And she talked about she didn't talk about how his work on gay rights, the civil rights, how knowledgeable he was whenever dealing with an issue. So this is like a top-tier diplomat that's doing this probably more on the career side, though I'm not sure, than the traditional, often a lot of ambassadors are like whoever donated the most money to a president gets to be an ambassador sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But, looking at it, there was just...
And he picked Hungary?
I know, that's why he's more likely to be a civil servant.
Not that rich.
But you have two other things going on. There's this weird tension between Hungary and the West, and you're seeing that the United States is doing whatever they can to criticize. But unfortunately for the ambassador, he speaks so passionately as an individual, but he's representing the United States. And if I was Hungary's prime minister, I could easily dismiss the United States and say, well, your Congress and your president just signed banning pride flags at embassies. Who are you to talk about gay rights in another country? Just like every time we try to talk about human rights with China, they say, hey, let's talk about black people and indigenous people in America first. And then we always look bad because we do not always live our values, as this amazing ambassador's been doing.
Absolutely. What I find also interesting is that to expect anything from Orban is you've set an unreachable goal. I mean, he made a statement in 1992, I believe it was, it was July of 2022, that he lashed out against mixed marriages of Europeans and non-Europeans, that it was not morally acceptable. So his hate and divisiveness spreads one section, but he's done that to his entire community. His entire population is being attacked by him if you're not just a pure European, which is, not that much different than Hitler and stuff, where you want to have the pure race. If he's eliminating any kind of European commingling, we'll use that word, mixing, he's against it. So
we can only hope that Hungary will do what our country did, and when we elected within this kind of far-right administration, that it's their time to cast them out the way Brazil did, and hopefully Argentina will do, and hopefully we will continue to do in November. Next, let's queer up the worldview. What gay couples with children face. New study is disturbing. Queer News Tonight frequently reports the struggles LGBTQ plus individuals face over discrimination, but tonight we report on a different cohort. LGBTQ plus parents of children. A recent study conducted by Just Like Us sheds light on the struggles faced by gay and lesbian parents and their children. The research involved 1,012 LGBTQ plus parents across the UK. Key findings from the study indicate that over half, 56%, of LGBTQ plus parents have encountered negative comments about their children and families. Additionally, 42% of their children have experienced remarks regarding having non-heterosexual parents. The hate extends beyond mere comments, with a quarter of lesbians and 34% of trans parents feeling isolated in their roles. Mental health is also a concern of LGBTQ plus parents. A quarter expressed feelings of depression or anxiety about their families not fitting in or being treated fairly. Half of respondents worry about their children being bullied due to having LGBTQ plus parents, while a significant portion, 29%, fear their children's acceptance. 39% of gay and lesbian parents report being asked invasive questions about their family structure. Moreover, 23% of children have felt upset or hurt by negative comments at school about LGBTQ plus individuals, with 24% being excluded from social arrangements for being a part of an LGBTQ plus family. Trans parents face even greater challenges, with over 40% of their children experiencing exclusion from social activities and 30% hearing negative comments about transgender individuals at school. Shockingly, 11% of trans parents have resorted to homeschooling their children to shield them from anti-LGBTQ plus prejudice. The study reveals the fears from straight parents and LGBTQ plus parents on the state of their families in society. Now, I may be a weirdo, but when I read this, I actually got some hope. And the hope is that when I was seeing how much more visibility LGBTQ parents and children are getting in the schools, that we're actually doing studies on them and how they feel. And the percentages aren't that crazy to me, because if you take the non-LGBTQ plus kids, they're getting bullied as well. They're getting bullied for being fat. They're getting bullied, like, that's what kids do. They find whatever little weakness you have, like little velociraptors, and they prey on them, and they make fun of you, and they try to build themselves up, and they're insecure as well, and they're hormonal. So when I look at this, I'm not that upset, because I don't think that it's so far from the norm of what most kids go through and what most parents go through. If you go to a normal PTA, when I say normal, a non-LGBT like PTA parent, yeah, there's all kinds of strife going on. I've been a teacher for 20 plus years, and they're always talking about each other. They're always talking about this parent does this, and then, their parent is this, and, I can't believe they let their kids do that. I mean, it's just a whole gossip hall, So when I look at this, yes, of course, it feels terrible sometimes, but I also think that anybody who's not pro-LGBT, like, gets bullied as well. Like, it's a really big issue. So I look at that, and I don't feel much angst for it. I think we're kind of on the right path, and that we're getting more studies done on us. We're more accepting, and, I would say to all the LGBTQ plus people, don't take it so personally. Like, their what you call hate rhetoric, it's going around to everybody. So, let it roll off of your back. What did Jinx Monsoon say? Water off a duck's back. Right. And keep on keeping on. Be that homeroom parent, and help the kids who may not be exposed to it or have parents who have a different viewpoint on it. Let them see you. Let them know that you're not the monster. They will make their decisions themselves regardless of what their parents tell them, because they'll say, you know what, Jimmy's mom, their two moms they're so nice to me. They're so great, and they will reject your ideology. So don't leave, don't homeschool, bring yourselves more into the mix.
I agree with you 100%. I do think that the statistics aren't that horrible, and I do think that there's all kinds of other bullying because of economics, because of race. Like, there's thousands of reasons why people are bullied every single day in school, and this is just another part of it. But being out there and you're presenting an option to folks who may stay closeted because of the fear of their parents, and are now finding people like them, and it's maybe a safe way. You take Florida out of the mix. But for most states, if they find a safe way to be able to connect on some level, and hopefully have a healthier life as they grow up. So.
Looking at the data, the first thing I looked at that I was both a positive but also concerned with, it was the UK study, which, often UK and the US have a lot of similarities. I would like to see a US focused study. Like, in my day job, I survey workers, and I've added LGBTQ questions, and I've also seen, I haven't published the mental health stuff that we've sometimes seen, but it's not new to me to see a lot of mental health issues and struggles and dealing with concerns of sadness, depression, and seeing that again reminds me that we have so much work to do on that. But the weird thing that was actually shocking, the 11% for trans parents homeschool, because I don't know how frequent homeschooling is in the UK, but here, Googling it really quick in the middle of the show, it was 6% of the population. So hearing that almost double the trans population, at least in the UK relative to US, is homeschooling, so it's being maybe there's a lot more that we need to talk about with trans parents at schools. But it would be best if we had some U.S. studies on it.
TriniDaddy said that means 89% are going to school and learning. And we don't know what the makeup is of those parents to make that decision, that maybe even if they were not LGBTQ, they would have homeschooled their kids.
Well, homeschooling is hard. If you have a day job, you can't homeschool your kid.
And let's be real.
That's why I didn't have kids.
And let's be real. Our school system sucks. So, you probably would get a better education anyways if you homeschool.
Depends on who your parents are.
Exactly.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday international service at 10:30 a.m.
We finish tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Records of Disney's political donations are out. Here is a sneak peek. Recently published campaign finance records of Disney for April and May show that it donated the largest sum over $28,000 to Daly for Florida, supporting Democratic Representative Dan Daly. However, the company also donated over $16,000 to Florida Farmers and Ranchers United, with ties to Republican Representative Jose Tomkow, who voted in favor of DeSantis' Don't Say Gay law. Further donations of approximately $10,000 each were made for Citizens for Solutions, led by Republican State Senator Dacian Brodeur and the Friends of Joe Grudus. This is interesting to me because every major corporation hedges their bet. I do some outside consulting type of work, and I can tell you that every pharmaceutical company that I've worked with they'll give the Democrats $100,000, they'll give $125,000 to the Republicans, but they don't want to end up on anybody's enemy list, and they're going to donate regardless to find themselves in a happy place. As long as they can keep their constituents or their customers happy by supporting the things that they care about on both sides, they're going to do it. So this doesn't come as a shock to me, and it doesn't make me think less of Disney. They took a pretty big stand on the whole Don't Say Gay bill, and that still can't be undermined by the donations they're making now, because when it came down to it, they stood with us and stood against the state and against the governor, and they paid for it. They lost some of their rights that they had for since the beginning of Disney for the land that they managed and which they had to give up.
And to be fair, when I worked at the Florida Dems, they were very generous to both parties and things like all of our conferences were at the were at Disney. But when it comes to I always give them a hard time for their representation. Like on Disney Plus, they have a little LGBTQ representation right now. It's 5 videos, 3 of them are short 20-minute one-off films, and then looking at Star Wars, because I always have to talk about space lesbians, we finally got a space lesbian coven.
So we can have a conversation.
But then they killed him in one episode. So that's all 6 movies that shows one episode with queer representation in Star Wars. Come on, Disney.
See that comment.
Wow.
Any other comments on this?
Well, I'll just say it's politics as usual, as you said, and it's also something that undermines the narrative that Disney is just this crazy liberal corporation that they won't even talk to a Republican. All right, it's business, and you're a piece of shit, Ron DeSantis.
And if Gay Days wasn't financially successful, there'd be no Gay Days at Disney.
Absolutely.
Right. And we'd have a lot of extra red T-shirts in all the outlet stores. Okay.
L. Hayes.
You're up next.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up with South Florida and Florida. Hunter's Nightclub presents Being Black and Gay June 27th. Hunter's Nightclub brings an intimate musical journey amplifying the Black LGBTQ plus voice in being Black and Gay, featuring Terry Dyer and Christopher Hamlin. You would not want to miss this fun evening at 6:30 on June 27th. Tickets cost are $45 for VIP entry and $25 for general admission. It is sponsored by Hunter's Nightclub with media sponsors Hotspot and Happening Out Television and community partners such as Out South Florida, Eugene Men's Collective, and South Florida Tennis Club. For more information, visit flockfestevents.org.
I actually have a quick question on that. Does anyone know, since it's with Flockfest, is the money going to a charity or anything like that? Do we know?
I refuse to comment on that.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. All right. Anywho, LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up drag culture. Drag queens lobby for LGBTQ rights on Capitol Hill. 3 drag queens are lobbying against anti-LGBTQ plus bills on Capitol Hill. Jiggly Caliente, Joey J, and Bridget Bandit met lawmakers today for Drag Lobby Day, organized by Move On Political Action, to support the Equality Act and the Transgender Bill of Rights. The Equality Act seeks to amend the 1964 Civil Rights Act to include gender identity and sexual orientation. The Transgender Bill of Rights aims to guarantee rights for transgender and non-binary people in various public and private sectors. You know, I saw that and I think that's both wonderful, because first and foremost, it's nice to see Jiggly Caliente doing something positive with her life. But also, I know I'm shady, but also, I honestly did not know that there was a separate Transgender Bill of Rights, and looking that Senator Ed Markey sponsored it, and that it's doing also things to help kids in school, and not realizing that the Equality Act didn't include it, was really wonderful to know that. And I really do thank these drag queens for showing us and educating us in this.
And you know, when you put some drag queens on Capitol Hill or any other state legislature, there's just cameras that come around. Like, they just draw attention. It's always nice to just at least have the conversation about it.
And to clarify what I said before, the being black and I can't remember the title of the show, but
The Hunters event.
Yes, the Hunters event. They are at the very bottom. It says a portion or some portion will go to Pride Line. So,
Oh, yay! Well, LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Meryl Streep's daughter comes out as LGBTQ plus.
what?
Actress Meryl Streep's daughter, Louisa Jacobson, seemingly came out as LGBTQ plus during her mother's birthday celebrations. She posted a series of photos on Instagram hinting at her identity with references to lesbian fashion, heart on fire, and rainbow emojis. Fans shared positive comments celebrating Jacobson's apparent announcement. Meryl Streep has not made a comment before tonight's Queer News Tonight broadcast. Well, we don't know. She could just, it's Pride Month, so she could just be a really great ally, an outspoken ally. So I never liked the idea of trying to out somebody or whatever, but since everybody's talking about it, if you are, fantastic, and welcome to the club. And Meryl Streep, you've probably been around gay men your entire life, so this is nothing new for you, and I'm sure you're going to welcome her with open arms if that is the case.
Did they give her a tool belt? Because that would be a clue. Was first into the club.
Oh yeah, you should give one to FayWhat.
It would fall right off of me. I should never tie that on and wear it. That's ridiculous.
So I will be the salty one in this and say, you know, hopefully this is a positive thing and she's not queer baiting, because that's a very unfortunate common thing with the entertainment industry too often. So like, are you or are you? You've decided to say this all on your mother's birthday. Are you trying to take attention away from your mother's birthday? Are you know? And maybe she didn't mean it in a bad way. Maybe she's trying to be positive. If so, welcome. If you're just trying to get the clicks, girl, move on.
You know what? I love a good queer bait. I see nothing wrong with queer baiting. There are a lot of male stars that are seemingly catering towards the gay community by either showing some skin or posing in a certain way or whatever. And why are we not here for it? Well, so what? That just takes somebody, let's just say they are straight, that just takes a straight audience that loves them and makes the gay community feel a lot more at home. And it's a role model for other straight people to say, you know, it's okay. You know, we can express our affection towards somebody else of the same sex and it's cool, or we can dress up in drag or do whatever we want to do. So just putting a little pin on that. I love a queer bait.
Okay. We're going to move on from that one. LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Daniel Craig stars in Queer, and boy, is it queer. Italian director Luca Guadagnino's upcoming film Queer promises many pretty outrageous sex scenes. Based on William S. Burroughs' 1953 novel, the film stars Daniel Craig as Lee navigating Mexico City's expatriate bars and Drew Starkey, who is playing Allerton. Guadagnino calls Queer his most personal film. Premiering later this year, it tackles the controversial queer themes. I love Craig, so he's still going to be, to me, our 007, always. And yeah, let him express himself. I fantasized about him enough. Why not express himself?
let him queerbait in the form of showing some skin, right? You know, like it seems like a fun, personal, beautiful story. So it seems like something I'll definitely watch, especially if he's shirtless. So.
We need more people. I don't know if he's queer or not, because we did the whole story about him possibly queerbaiting too. Queer bait us all you want. And in addition, I would like several other straight stars to queer bait as well. So please.
Do you have any favorites? Just if you want to pull them out right now.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill. Okay. I want you to be gay. I want you to bait me all. Wait, no. I want you to star in some movies as a gay person. I want you to have gay sex scenes. And also, what's his name? The wrestling guy.
Trying to produce.
You know what? Maybe I am on the wrong topic. Sorry, Alex.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on all your favorite streaming platforms like Roku and Apple TV.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is, out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and in sound. That is the passion of Hot Spots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Glen Weinzimer, and on behalf of these wonderful LGBTQ plus reporters, that's it, posing your little square, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including TriniDaddy, L. Hayes, Alex Morash, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night.
Buenas noches.